911 Season 8 focused heavily on Buck and Eddie's friendship, but the finale nearly separated the pair for good. Oliver Stark's Evan "Buck" Buckley has been a mainstay of the cast since the beginning, but Ryan Guzman's Eddie Diaz perfectly filled out the 118 in 911 Season 2. Alongside Henrietta "Hen" Wilson, Aisha Hines, Howard "Chimney" Han, Kenneth Choi, and Ravi Panikkar, Anirudh Pishreddy, Buck and Eddie worked under Captain Bobby Nash, Peter Krause, until his shocking death in 911 Season 8. While 911 has had gruesome injuries, Bobby marks the first death of a main character. In the subsequent episodes, 9-1's found family has been on the brink of collapse. Eddie wasn't even in LA at the time of Bobby's death, while Buck was the last member of the 118 to see their captain alive. Both firefighters had complex grief but failed to properly face it, leading to an explosive fight between Buck and Eddie in Don't Drink the Water, 911 Season 8, Episode 17. Though the pair end the penultimate episode on a hopeful note, the 911 Season 8 finale takes Buck and Eddie's storyline into a drastic new direction. Both Buck and Eddie almost left the 118, but they decided to stay. A last-second speech brings the team back together. Ryan Guzman as Eddie Diaz in 911 Season 8, Episode 18. 911 Season 8, Episode 17 revealed that Eddie had been offered a job in El Paso, but his conversation with Hen indicated that the decision would be complicated. Instead of focusing on that dilemma's conflict, however, Eddie simply decides to go back to Texas in the time between Don't Drink the Water and Seismic Shifts. Similarly, Buck announces at Eddie's goodbye party that he's requested a transfer. With Bobby dead, the 118 is allegedly just a number to Buck. Buck and Eddie were headed in two different directions in 911 Season 8's finale, but outside intervention saves the day. Chimney steps up at the last moment to rally the 118 and remind them of everything Bobby did to protect their family. Buck and Eddie's plans specifically come under fire, and Chimney flat out says it would be disrespectful to Bobby for them to leave. Chimney proves the ensemble can grieve Bobby's death and still grow in 911, focusing on the future while preserving the captain's legacy. The rousing speech works, as Buck stays with the 118 and Eddie moves back to LA with Christopher, Gavin Mayhew. The status of Buck and Eddie's relationship after the 911 Season 8 finale explained. After a season's worth of build-up, Buddy remains just buddies. The issue with Buck and Eddie's storylines in 911 Season 8, Episode 18 is that they were completely independent of each other, despite the two characters being thematically inseparable all season. 911 proved Buck and Eddie are perfect for each other with every scene they shared, especially their fights, and inevitable reconciliations. 911 Season 8 overtly leaned into Buck and Eddie's chemistry, to the point where it seemed entirely possible that one would confess having romantic feelings in the season finale. Seismic Shifts is a harsh departure, with Buck and Eddie barely interacting or even speaking to each other. Aside from how problematic it was to lead the audience on with its buddy baiting, it makes no sense for Buck and Eddie to be so disconnected in the 911 Season 8 finale. Buck and Eddie are meant to be best friends, yet, one was about to fly across the country, the other was about to desert his closest friends, and they didn't so much as have a one-on-one conversation in 911 Season 8, Episode 18. The pair don't even have a moment in the final wrap-up, but it's implied that Buck and Eddie's platonic friendship is back to normal. What to expect from Buck and Eddie's dynamic in 911 Season 9? The 118's next captain could cause a domino effect. Oliver Stark as Evan "Buck" Buckley during 911 Season 8's Contagion saga. Of course, not all hope is lost. As is usual for the pair, Buck's gaze noticeably lingered on Eddie throughout the 911 Season 8, Episode 18. When the finale's closing montage reveals Buck is looking for a new place, he tells his real estate agent that he liked the character of his last place, aka Eddie's house. It's not impossible that this will echo Buck's couch trend in 911, which was one of the earliest narrative arguments for Buck and Eddie's romantic potential. Unfortunately, it could just as easily be a meaningless line that 911 never revisits. Even if Buck and Eddie's close friendship is recentered in 911 Season 9, there may be another obstacle in their way at work. Nobody wants to be Bobby's replacement in 911, but the 118 needs a new captain, and Chimney proved his merit with that scene-stealing monologue. If Chimney becomes fire captain, Eddie will likely return to the 118 as a paramedic rather than a regular firefighter, meaning he would be Hen's partner instead of Buck's. If the drama abandons Buck and Eddie's prospective romance and further separates them at work, however, 911 risks ruining one of its best duos.